specializes in diagnosing and treating conditions such as TIA, stroke, epilepsy, dementia, Parkinson's disease, and more, including EMGs. Now seeing patients at Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. To book your appointment, call 217-784-2340.
If you're looking for local hunting and fishing information, then join us for Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, Sundays at 8 a.m. here on WHOW. Every weekend, we'll offer detailed local fishing reports from professional guides. We'll swap stories with local celebrity sportsmen, and I'll invite you to share your stories as well. Central Illinois Outdoors with Jared White, every Sunday morning at 8 on all WHOW platforms and on demand at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Brought to you by Bob Ridings in Pana and the Clinton, Illinois Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau.
You're from the Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show today streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the phone today, Candace Summers with the McLean County Museum of History. Good morning, Candace. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. And as always, thanks for taking time with us. We appreciate it very much. And a lot to get into today. We've got some upcoming events, Candace, and they start here on this Friday night. What do you have for us? What is going on?
Yeah, so we have our partners Point Forward back again, who does sound art and creates music using different instruments, different kind of rhythm patterns. And they're doing a performance here called Viral Silence, the 6 Words concert, tonight at 7 o'clock. And it's a free concert open to the public. It'll be held in the museum's wonderful plus air-conditioned courtroom. Very important these days, the air conditioning. And we're super excited about this concert-length piece that was composed by local musician Eddie Breitweiser. And he created this inspired by local residents' experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the museum was really fortunate to have been approached early on in the pandemic in 2020 by some community groups who wanted to help preserve that history, to document the experience of individuals. So we had set up a Google form where people could answer questions or just share like journal entries about what they were experiencing on a day-to-day basis. So it was everything from like the endless Zoom meetings that have kind of tapered down, but I feel like Zoom is here to stay too, or just, you know, remote learning for school kids, the stresses that we were all under, wondering when it was ever going to end. And so he took parts of those experiences to help him create this new composition. So he'll be debuting it tonight in our courtroom. So we're super excited to have that kind of creating happening locally and be able to share it with the community too.
Very good. So look forward to that. And again, the when and where on that, Candace?
That's tonight here at the museum. It starts at 7 o'clock. So doors will open at 6:30. And it'll be held in our gorgeous courtroom, which let me tell you, when we play music in the courtroom, it's just electric. It's such a live room that you really don't even need a whole lot of, you know, microphones or any technology. Like acoustic is perfect in there.
Nice. That's awesome. So it should be a good show then.
Yeah. And following up this weekend, if you're in the mood for more music, we are happy to be partnering again this year for the Saturdays on the Square concert series. So background for those who don't know and couldn't go last year. Last year, Panagraph Media, the City of Bloomington, and the Castle Theater all partnered to do a series of outdoor concerts when we were still, you know, not really doing a whole lot of indoor things, but safety is great outside. And what better place to do it than on the museum square where we have our lawn, we have all the streetscapes. So they close off the streets on all the sides of our building. They set up a stage, bring your lawn chair for a great evening with music. And so tomorrow night, kicking off at 7 o'clock, is Style in Stereo with Kyle Yap. Seating begins at 6 o'clock and the music starts at 7. Then they'll also be having a show on July 9th with Wedding Band, the world's greatest wedding band. July 16th is Dan Hubbard. And then we'll also have on August 6th, Southern Accents, a tribute to Tom Petty. So I think
nice.
there'll be a little bit of music for everybody these next 2 days. And all of it is free. Inside our building tonight, outside the building on the museum square, kicking off tomorrow night.
Awesome. So look forward to that. What else is coming up with those concerts, Candace? Do we have an outlook on who else performs?
There's just those 4 concerts. I don't have the information on who the intro acts are, but you can go to the City of Bloomington's website, or you can also go to the Castle Theater's website and get full details on these concerts as well.
Gotcha. I apologize. I didn't follow
That's
that
okay.
closely enough. My apologies for that. So free concerts in Bloomington. Can't beat it. And where do folks find, again, Candace, more information on all of that?
So you can go to the City of Bloomington's website, Castle Theater's website, or you can come to our website, makehistory.org, for all the details on those concerts coming up.
All right, easy enough. Candace, what else is on the calendar coming our way?
So next Friday, July 1st, the museum will be participating in the Downtown Bloomington's First Friday series that happens every first Friday of the month. And this Friday's theme is Get Your Kicks on Route 66. I mean, what better way to celebrate our local connection of Route 66?
Mm-hmm.
The museum is on Route 66, or I should say one of the earlier alignments, because Route 66 once went through downtown and then, of course, was rerouted through Veterans Parkway and then finally rerouted all the way around Bloomington on Interstate 55 many years later. But a lot of the businesses plus the museum are all going to host activities and specials from 5 to 8 o'clock on July 1st. The museum, we're going to bring our activities outside on the square. So we'll have one of our tents set up where you can try your hand at some Route 66 trivia. So we'll see how well you know your Route 66 history, both locally and the whole route. And then we'll also have some wonderful local favorites for sale that we sell in our gift shop at our tent too. Plus you can find out information about upcoming events, Route 66 travel information. We've definitely seen quite the uptick in Route 66 travelers this summer. And I mean, summer is technically only 3 days old now.
Yeah. Well, and that's interesting because I had talked to a Atlanta city individual who said that they were anticipating Route 66 traffic just booming this year because international travel the last few years has not been something that has happened. And so they were anticipating a huge boom in those foreign I don't want to say foreign travelers, overseas travelers, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah. So, and I wonder, Candace, you talk about the opportunity, to come and visit with you folks. I venture a guess that, opportunities like First Friday is a chance for you to just get in front of people and make your presence in the community known to folks who may not otherwise have known you were there. Is that a fair statement, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. First Friday definitely has a core group of audience, but also a great way, to attract new people who might not come downtown much or even come downtown at all. Plus, during the travel season, it's a great way to encourage out-of-town visitors to come and see all that downtown has to offer. I mean, great restaurants. There's something for everybody down here. We've also had a couple new restaurants open up downtown recently. Lots of unique shops. Great coffee down here with the Coffee Hound. Lots of tasty baked goods. Award-winning, nationally accredited museum. Just tooting my own horn here. So much to do in downtown. And, First Fridays, free activities, shop till you drop, get a bite to eat, stay late, listen to some great music at, our bars and restaurants. There's a lot to do downtown. It's a happening place.
Very good. So keep that in mind. First Fridays in Bloomington. Candace, anything else on the calendar you want to put out there for us this morning?
So just for folks to also keep on their radar, we do have our continued shared events with Bloomington Public Library. So for those who don't live in Bloomington or get here regularly, Bloomington Public Library is undergoing construction and expansion, which is super exciting that they are expanding to continue to meet the needs of the community. And one thing that the museum has been doing is partnering them to host story times and other activities for kids here in our building while their spaces are closed for renovation. So we've had some great pop-up story times here at the museum, which we have another one coming up next Tuesday at 10 a.m. And then we've also had some really fun pop-up Lego constructions. So if you're a big fan of Legos and want to come and do some building with your kiddos, you can stop by our next Lego construction pop-up, which is July 16th at 10 a.m. We're also going to be hosting a couple other events in August and September. So just keep an eye on the library's page and also the museum's page for more information coming about those events too.
All right, very good. So, Candace, I'll tell you what, let's take a time out here. We'll come back and talk a little more. Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, our guest on the phone for this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. More to come on the morning show.
WHOW.
You connected.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn higher, beans mixed, and wheat trading higher. July corn 7.47 3/4 up a penny. September corn up 7 3/4, 6.74 1/2. December new crop 6.64 1/4 up 8 3/4. July beans 15.98 3/4 up 5 1/2. August beans up a penny, 15.08 1/4. November new crop 14.09 1/2 down 6. July wheat 9.43 1/4 up 6. September wheat up 4 1/2, 9.53 3/4. July bean meal 4.31 up 4.40. July bean oil up 45 cents, 68.16. In the livestock market at this hour, June live cattle 136 even up 75 cents. August feeders down 80 cents, 174.05. July lean hogs up $1.32, 109.87. In the energy market, August Brent crude oil up 2.17, 112.22. Look at the markets on this Friday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
The WHOW Morning Show is now video streamed live on the WHOW WEZC DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page and on the new WHOW TV YouTube channel. Watch morning show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing 2 more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. Candace Summers with the McLean County Museum of History is my guest on the phone. And Candace, let's revisit the cemetery walk in 2022 because you have some, once again, great stories to be told. I know we started this conversation, I can't remember if it was last month or earlier in the spring, but remind us about the cemetery walk, just the quick overview, what it is, and then highlight the stories and characters this year, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so our Evergreen Cemetery Walk, this is our 28th year this year, and we have costumed actors portray people from McLean County's past, most of whom are buried in Evergreen Memorial Cemetery, which is one of the oldest cemeteries in Bloomington. We also have visiting voices who come to our cemetery walk now, who are people who were living in McLean County, but are buried in other McLean County cemeteries. And that allows us to tell some even more interesting and unique stories than we can with just the folks who are their final resting place is in Evergreen Memorial Cemetery. And it kicks off on September 24th, 25th, October 1st and 2nd, with tours at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. each day, and tickets go on sale August 30th. And you don't want to miss this year, because let me tell you, there's some pretty amazing stories that we have unearthed. There's my cemetery humor for the day for this event.
Well done, Candace. And
well played.
Yeah, exactly. And we teased this last time, but there's a connection to Clinton in this year's cemetery walk. Remind us about this.
Yeah. So James Preston Butler, he had a lot of occupations, but what he was really well known for was was a detective in high profile murder cases. And one of the people accused of murder that he helped to track down was a man named Patsy Devine, who was accused of murdering a banker in Bloomington by the name of Goodfellow. And it took 2 years to bring Patsy to justice, because he took off, and went into hiding across the country. And so it was up to J. Press Butler, as he was known, to track him down. And so it was pretty unique how Butler ended up tracking Patsy Devine down. I don't want to give it all away, because I want you to come to the cemetery walk to hear about it. But needless to say, he brought Patsy back to Bloomington, and Patsy felt he wasn't going to get a fair trial in Bloomington, just because the man that he was accused of murdering was well-known person in the community. There had been a lot of stuff in the newspaper leading up to this trial, so they had to change a venue to DeWitt County in Clinton. And I was doing more research on this, because I wanted to know more myself, because we just give a little part of the story as part of Butler's story in the cemetery walk. But I was digging around, and I found an article where it was saying, in the paragraph, that they felt like he would get a more lenient sentence if the trial was moved to Clinton. Mm-hmm. And fast forward, he ended up being convicted of murder and was hung in Clinton as his sentence. I was like, I don't think that was as lenient.
I don't think that's what he had in mind. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. That's amazing. So what, if you don't mind, and I don't want to give too much away, but like, what part of this story are you going to dive into at the cemetery walk this year?
It'll definitely be how Butler caught Devine. Definitely how he tracked him down and figured out where he was, so he could actually go and arrest him and bring him back to this area for trial. And, a little bit about, why, the change of venue down to Clinton. But as I was researching more on this, I wanted to know where Devine is buried. And so I reached out to Joey Long at the homestead, because she and I, regularly converse about, different things, especially if sometimes we get items donated up here that would be more appropriate in DeWitt County. So we will bring items to Joey to add to the collection at the homestead. And I said, Joey, where is Patsy buried? Because I found an article saying that he was buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in Clinton. And I was really curious, where in the cemetery he is. So she told me I can call her the next time I'm in town, and she can take me to where he is interred. And he has a headstone, which kind of surprised me for someone who was convicted of murder and hung. And she told me that her research revealed that it was the Catholic priest in town that kind of, had taken pity on Patsy and had a headstone placed for him. And the headstone, I saw a picture of it on findagrave.com. The headstone is still readable, at least at the time the picture was taken. So it's fascinating, the different connections between all the communities in this area that I find. And a lot of times it surprises me, but it really shouldn't surprise me, because Bloomington and Clinton aren't that far away from each other.
No, that's just an incredible story. So we look forward to more of that. Now, is there, you talked about the gentleman that helped track this guy down. is there like an interesting plot twist there that we should look forward to, or maybe not a plot twist, but an interesting tale there that we should look forward to? And like I said, I don't want you to give too much away, but can you preview maybe what that story will entail?
So Butler will be, focusing on his career as a detective, and he will definitely explain the unique method on how he tracked Divine down. But it's also the opportunity of having Butler at our cemetery walk. He's actually buried in Park Hill Cemetery, which is on the west side of Bloomington. But we were originally led to believe that he was in fact buried in Evergreen. But what we found is he was interred temporarily, although I don't think 2 years is temporary. For 2 years, his body was temporarily located in the vault. Now, a cemetery vault is typically used for temporary storage of a deceased person. If bad weather, the ground is too hard because it's wintertime, so you can't dig. Because today we use modern excavating equipment. Well, back then they're still using, shovels and manpower to dig graves. But I'm like, 2 years? Like, why was he kept for 2 years? In addition to a grandson and another family member were all stored in the cemetery vault. And when his wife died 2 years after he did, for some reason, they were all moved to Park Hill. And I still haven't figured out why, if it was her wish they were moved to Park Hill or I don't know. It's a good mystery, and I'm still digging into it.
That is interesting, man.
Yeah, and so this is a great opportunity for us to tell that story of, the vault and its purposes, but also highlight the career of this man as a detective, a sheriff's deputy, a constable, an alderman, a grocer, a butcher, a policeman, tax collector, tinsman. He did a little bit of everything.
Wow. We look forward to all of that, Candace. I look at the clock. We're quickly coming up on the end of our time together, Candace. Where do folks go? We talked about a lot of events coming to Bloomington here in the weeks ahead. Where do folks go to learn about all those and to follow along with the McLean County Museum of History and all the things you're doing, Candace? Where do they go?
Absolutely. So you can find us at our website, mchistory.org. Or you can visit us on our social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook, you'll find most of the details you're looking for on all these upcoming events. And, of course, updates on the Evergreen Cemetery Walk this year.
All right, Candace, always good to talk to you. Thanks again for making time for us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, my guest on the phone here for this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news is next on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM, W293 DJ Normal Bloomington.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. In a historic, much-anticipated ruling, the Supreme Court has reversed Roe versus Wade, turning the question of abortion back to the states for the first time in nearly 50 years. Among those celebrating the ruling, Patrick Mahoney of the Stanton Public Policy Center, who says a very long struggle has finally paid off.
I'm reminded of the Bible verse, which clearly says, "Grow not weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap a harvest if you faint not." And we are seeing a harvest.
Justice Samuel Alito, writing the majority opinion in that 6-3 decision, says that Roe was wrongly decided and had to be overturned. Justice Alito was joined by Chief Justice John Roberts, Associate Justices Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. The latter three justices are Trump appointees. Now, outside the Supreme Court's headquarters, pro-lifers, while pro-abortion activists stage a noisy protest. Following Senate approval of a bipartisan gun control bill, quick action by the House expected, a vote expected later today. Senate Democrats, joined by 15 Republicans, passed the legislation, which Republican Senator Ted Cruz says falls short.
Do we pass legislation that will be ineffective in stopping violent crime?